All right, welcome everyone. Welcome back. It's lovely to see you all as always. And let's begin by going straight into the superpower state. So take a deep breath and either close your eyes or leave them open, whichever you prefer. And go into your superpower state, however you normally do that. So using your word or phrase or your anchor, or by focusing in on everything you love about your subject. Good job. And then feel that expansion in your chest, that opening feeling, as you allow that light or energy to shine out from you. Now allow that light or energy to spread down to your toes, up to the top of your head and out to your fingertips. So you're now full of that light, that energy, that love. Very good. Now allow that light or energy to fill each of the 50 trillion cells that make up your body. Love each cell just for existing. Good job. Now allow that light or energy to fill yourself as a child, any age. And love that child just for existing. Good job. And allow that light or energy to shine out from that little you and fill your whole childhood, shining that light into any darkness, filling everything, everyone, every event, every circumstance, every experience with this same light, this energy, this love. Feeling your power as you do that. And now allow that light or energy to fill everyone who's on the call today, all those who are on camera, all those who are off camera today. Fill each one with the same light, this energy, this love, loving each one just for existing, no matter what. Very good job. Good, you can open your eyes if you have them closed. And let's check in with each person, find out how you're doing. So Lisa, you're first up on my screen. How are you today?
Oh, good. I wanted to tell you thank you very much because my daughter's business partner came out of the hospital very early, like a week early. So it was really good.
Fantastic.
So he was, he was not doing so well, but now he just healed really fast. And then I also wanted to tell you, since we started doing the program since March, my son is so much calmer since he has severe autism. So he's way calmer than he used to be. Like now he's like, I think he feels the energy of you guys, which is really good. So it's been really helpful that way.
Oh, fantastic.
So I mean, like, if it could heal him, it could heal because for the full moon, like last night, he stayed up a lot, but otherwise he's doing very good. He's not like he used to scream all the time, and even with meds he would, it took him a while to calm down, but he's good though. I mean, like, way better.
Oh, good. And yeah, and continuing to fill him with love regardless of what he's like, whether he heals or not, or whether he screams or not, that will continue to produce results as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yes. So imagining you're filled with that light, that energy, that love, regardless of how he is. And that goes for everybody. If you've got someone you're concerned about or someone that has challenges of any kind, keep filling them that person with that light and that energy, but regardless of whether they're okay or not, regardless of what happens for them.
Yeah, that's all.
Thank you so much for sharing that. That's wonderful to hear. Good job. All right, and then Swasti. Hi, Swasti. How are you today?
Hello. I'm good, thank you. So yesterday I emailed you an email that I can now retake my exam, and it's on Thursday at 11 to 1, which is really, really good.
Fantastic. So let's just take a moment. Congratulate Swasti. So for those who don't know about this, if you go back to previous episodes, the last few episodes, you'll see what Swasti's referring to. For those who have been following along, so Swasti received the news. She sent me an email yesterday evening saying that she actually is now allowed to retake the exam that she had challenges with because of technical issues. So that actually did come about. So well done, Swasti. Congratulations. I'm so excited for you. And how are you feeling about it?
Yeah, it feels good. It feels like no matter what happened, at least it was an equal opportunity.
Exactly.
Then, yeah, it was a bit scary. There's like a lot of pressure because this is so unconventional. You would not be allowed to take this exam twice in the same year.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Oh my god. I'm just I just have this fear of getting like in the last section, get like a band 4 or band 3, and you like automatically get rejected. I don't know why. I got the best in that section that you could possibly get, but I don't know why it's so strong. Yes. But that's the only one that's troubling me for some reason.
All right, so let's look at that. So of course the reason it's so strong, and the reason it's there at all, and the reason it's so strong is because there has to be a reference for it.
Yeah.
We can't experience anything we don't have a reference for. So so let's start with the allowing exercise. So think about it right now. So you're going to get in that band where you get disqualified immediately, or whatever that is. The worst thing, worst case scenario. You got that?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. And how does it, where in your body do you feel it, and how does it feel?
It's like a shivering everywhere, like especially in the ankles.
Good job. Very good. And so now just allow that to be there. Just home in on the physical sensation of it. So the shivering, the heaviness in the ankles, whatever that is, just notice it as a separate thing. So it doesn't mean anything. No judgment. We don't need to stop it or change it. It's okay to feel those sensations right now. Are you able to do that?
Yeah. Yeah, they're gone.
Good. Very good. And so we're going to go to the references, but moving forward, I want you to remember that you can always do the allowing exercise, and this is for everybody. So, you know, whenever you feel something, you're worried about something, the first step you can do to start feeling better or to start bringing those stress chemicals down is to home in on the physical feelings, take out the meaning, and just focus on those physical feelings and allow those. And that will already, because the more we try and stop it or think about why and all that, the more in real time we're pumping stress chemicals into the system. So allowing it starts to bring those stress chemicals down. So good job, Swasti. So now let's look at what's the worst that can happen and what's wrong with that.
I don't know if this has been influenced by so the student room, like people get really, really high scores, like ridiculously high over their first 4 averages. And then their last one, which is like the bands one, they get band 3 or band 4, and that means they're gonna get disqualified by some medical school. And that hurts me so much. Like, it's so hard to get a high score. And then, well, the last section is kind of just common sense. Like, it's medical ethics. Like, you wouldn't let somebody who's drunk treat patients, for example. It's like that.
Oh.
So the worst, yeah, just getting a band 3 or 4 and then getting rejected, even if I did get like a higher average.
Right. Okay. So when you think about those people, who got very high scores on that part, and then they got band 3, 4, or 5 on the other. What does that mean to you? What are you thinking of when you think of that?
That just makes me feel really stupid.
Do you think they're stupid?
Oh no, they're not stupid because they did well in their cognitive thinking, but then, yeah, like kind of, because you kind of failed in the logical aspect, like common sense kind of thing. It's like you can book learn things, but you can't use logic.
Right. Exactly. And so also bearing in mind that whatever their answers were based on whatever they have. So whether it's the knowledge they have or the understanding they have or the ability to access that knowledge and that logic and use their logic when they're in that particular situation. Mm-hmm. So that's why we focus on making sure that we're filled with feel-good chemicals. And if there is a heightened emotion, that it's excitement rather than anxiety, so that you've got your prefrontal cortex online and you're able to use what you have.
Yeah.
Right. So as you say, it's common sense, and to you, it seems completely logical. So there's no reason for you not to do well in it, right?
Yeah, there is some element of preparation. Like you can do reading around medical ethics and like common scenarios, which I did do, and all of them came up. So that's probably why. I mean, they always come up because they're very little scenarios spread over a lot of questions. It's quite easy to do.
Fantastic. So tell me, what is making you worry about that, or consider the fact that you may not do well?
I think it's like fatigue by the end of, because it's 2 hour, quite intense. Right. By the time I get to that, like I found that on Monday, I had to like read the paragraphs again and again because I was so tired. I was quite drained from everything that was happening. Yeah, I'm scared that's going to affect the score. Right,
but and so this last time you did it, even though it had been 2 hours and it was at the end, right? And even though you'd had all that stress with the technical issues and them asking to see stuff and all of that, you still managed to do well on that last test, didn't you? That last section.
Yeah, it was easier than last time, actually.
Okay. So that's the thing to keep remembering. So number one, you can keep remembering that. And number two, let's look at the references for it. All right. So so that feeling of being stupid, because let's say you don't do well on it. So your subconscious is being very careful now and trying to stop you from feeling stupid. So where in your childhood did you feel that same feeling?
It was like an image of being in the school playground surrounded by people, like students. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that is.
Okay. All right. So at this stage, it's just that you're surrounded by other students and you feel stupid. Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, very good, sweetheart. Good job. And so now can you change that to where you're surrounded by the other students because you've got this prize, or you're top of the class, or you're very popular for some reason, and so everybody wants to ask you questions, everybody wants to be with you, everybody wants to invite you to their parties and all of that?
No, it's like I'm really small and they're really big. There's like a shadow of them on me.
Good job. Very good, Swasti. So about how old were you then?
I don't know. I can't really see anything. I can't see there.
Okay.
Quite small though.
All right. So that little you, that small you, I want you to see if you can go. Are you looking through your own eyes, or are you looking at you?
Yeah, like a bird's eye view.
A bird's eye view. So now I want you to imagine that little you growing to, like, you know, that 50-foot woman, so that you're 50 foot tall, so you're right above everyone. So the bird's eye view is through your own eyes. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, but there's also some like tiny person next to it.
Tiny person next to it. Okay.
What happened?
All right. So who is that tiny person next to?
So shall I come downstairs? I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think it's just me, as well as me being tall.
All right. And can you help that little you grow just as tall? And if you can't, that's okay.
No, it's like duplicating. There's always a small one.
Okay, very good. Good job. So let's go to the small one. And how does that small one feel?
Yeah, just anxious.
Anxious. That little one feels anxious. Okay. And so can you ask that little one what she needs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just love.
Love. Yeah, perfect. Makes perfect sense. So can you give her love?
Yeah, I can hug her.
Good. So hug her, reassure her that she's safe, she's loved always, and she's never on her own. You're always with her. Because that's true now, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good job. Very good. And so what happens when you do that?
Yeah, we grow tall together.
Very good. So now you've grown tall together. And what does the scene look like now?
Like everybody surrounding me is looking up at me.
Looking up at you. Very good. And how does that feel?
Yeah, a sense of empowerment. Good.
Good job. Very good. And so now,
1 minute. Sorry, keyboard.
So notice that feeling of empowerment. You got it?
Mm.
Good. And now I want you to think of the exam again. And how does that feel now?
It actually feels good, like I can handle it. Like I've got the capabilities, but it's just something, yeah.
Yeah. So what you want to do is you want to give yourself the best chance by making sure you get plenty of sleep beforehand,
Mm-hmm.
Before that day, so that you're in the best possible state of mind and physically in the best possible state.
Mm-hmm.
You make sure you get enough sleep, enough water, and enough nutrition, so that you are in the peak state.
Definitely, yeah.
So you do that. And of course, in addition to being in that state of the superpower, sending love to whatever happens.
Mm-hmm.
So pre-pave it strongly beforehand. You can start pre-paving now. I know it's only on Thursday, but start pre-paving now every day, so that by the time you get there, you're in a much calmer state as well. How does that sound?
Yeah, it sounds good. I also found out what kind of discovered that. Sorry, 1 minute. It's just...
That's all right.
Like the weakest section from the exam is actually my favorite section. So it's so easy to study for. Like I don't know why. It's probably because I don't know, I didn't put enough effort into it because I thought it was nice or something. But yeah, that makes me really look forward to like studying with it.
Good. That's fantastic. And yes, focus in on the enjoyment of it and make sure so that you are preparing for it because you love doing it,
Mm-hmm.
rather than focusing on the things you don't love and that you're worried about.
Yeah.
So that also switches the brain from survival mode to creative mode and productive mode. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because sometimes, some people have the issue of they only do the stuff they like and they don't prepare for the stuff they don't like.
Yeah.
But the opposite issue is thinking, oh, because I like it, I'm good at it, I don't need to bother about it, and focusing on the worry and the anxiety of the thing we don't like or we're worried about.
Yeah, I think I did that, but then it did improve my score, so it was worth it. But then I think
But now you've got a balance.
Yeah.
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 So now you can enjoy, as you say, you can enjoy the process of preparing for the rest of it.
Yeah, can I just quickly ask another thing about the topic of focus? Like, So just throughout the day, I find that I'm focusing too much on like last year's application process. Like that's, you know, like you said, in the moment we're always thinking about the future or the past. I find that I repeat that too many times a day.
Mm-hmm.
So should I just change the memories?
Yes. So what is it about that experience that your mind keeps wandering to specifically?
Yeah, it's just the rejections, like the continuous rejections and like bad things that were happening.
Okay. And so those the continuous rejection, and that is a specific scene in your mind, or is it just a general knowing, or how is that represented for you?
Things like a knowing, a feeling, and just lots of scenes, like visuals.
Oh, okay, very good. So again, let's do the allowing exercise with that. Because as you're trying not to think about it, your brain keeps going, but there's a tiger, we're going to die, right? You go, no, don't pay attention to the tiger, but the tiger's going to kill us, right?
Yeah.
So you want to acknowledge and allow that part of you until the threat comes down, so that there is no reason for your brain to keep fixated on the danger, because the danger, you know, it's got the message that there is no danger.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with noticing the feeling. So remember, so can you feel that feeling now of thinking about the last time, the last application?
Yeah, it's like a sinking feeling.
Good, very good. And so that physical sensation of the sinking feeling, are you able to home in on that?
Yeah, and it moves to like ankles again.
So allow that to just be there. So we don't need to give it meaning. It's got no meaning. We don't need to judge it. We don't need to change it or make it go away. Just allow that sinking feeling to be there. It's okay to feel it.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it goes away. Yeah.
Good, very good. And so again, moving forward, every time that feeling comes, just take a moment and go, it's okay to allow that. It's okay, without the need to think about anything, just the feeling. Just allow the feeling to be there.
Mm.
All right. Okay, so now let's look at so when you think about that now, what stands out? So there's the rejection.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else stand out?
Yeah, now it's just a picture of me like sitting there not knowing what to do.
Good, very good. And the not knowing what to do, that feeling, where in your childhood did you feel that? Sitting down, just not knowing what to do.
Oh, yeah, it's like sitting. Yeah, it's the same, but like with school, like I would not know what to do after school. And in terms of like the work I had to do, nobody would be there to help me.
Right, that's perfect. That makes perfect sense.
Mm.
See that connection there? Yeah. Good job, Swasti. And so now what you want to do is change those memories so that when you know, before you go to school, your parents say, so when you get home, we're going to do this. We're going to help you with your homework, and then we're going to, and something fun.
Mm.
All right. So both your parents, and then when you come home, so while you're sitting in school, you're looking forward to getting home. Your parents are going to help you, and it's always fun when they help you with your homework.
Mm-hmm.
But they always get a bit silly, and it's fun. And they always explain to you so patiently. You always have fun. So you get your homework done, and it's quick, and it's done. And then you go on to do something together, something that you would find fun. So whether it's going swimming or playing a game or doing an activity.
Okay.
How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds really good. Thank you.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. So that's what, so you want to change that to that, change that memory, you know, and establish the new memories, and then come back to think about what happens when you think about the last time, the last application and that. And when there's no emotions there, you can change that too. So, but we want to change the childhood stuff first. Then you can change the last application to where you got it. You got top marks and it was fun and fabulous. And then your brain can let that go. And then you can focus on, moving forward.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're very welcome. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, thank you for all the unconditional love. Because my friend who suggested like calling them up, she was like, it's a miracle. Because she was like, you sat the exam and like, are you allowed to sit it again? That doesn't normally happen. And then my mom was like, God is giving you another chance. I said, yeah, but it's a superpower. Really love that.
Very good. Well, for those who believe in God, because not everybody does, but for those who do, the superpower, that feeling of unconditional love, is what God feels like. So when you're tuned into that power, whatever you believe it to be, it feels like unconditional love. Mm-hmm. So either way, it's true. Yeah. Very good, Swasti. I'm so proud of you. Good job, sweetheart.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right. And questions in the chat?
Yes, we have one so far.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Odille and Steve. I'm having financial issues at the moment, but keep my feel-good state no matter what. Good job. I repeat to myself that as long as I love myself, nothing bad can happen. And well, earlier I went food shopping and found a €5 note on the pavement. Aha, I take that as a sign I'm on the right path. What do you think? So yes, absolutely. When those kind of things happen, again, depending on beliefs and things, certainly, it can be the law of attraction, creating, attracting, but even without that side of things, when you are feeling good, you will notice things more. So when you're feeling stressed and bad and worried and all of that, your brain is designed, and this is biology, this is nothing woo-woo, your brain is designed to filter out anything that doesn't apply, that doesn't seem relevant, which means if you're focused on lack, I don't have, I'm worried, and all of that, like it's natural to be, that €5 note could have been there anyway, but your brain would have filtered it out because it doesn't fit in with the state you're in. So yes, absolutely, it's a brilliant sign. It's a sign if you believe in that sort of thing from the universe, but even if you don't believe in that, it's a sign that you are keeping your brain, your cognitive thinking online, and you're keeping your brain in alignment with what you want to create and achieve. And then the important part to continue moving forward is to continue to use the superpower on money. So continue to use the unconditional love part of it. So it's wonderful that you got that €5 note. It's a wonderful sign, but be sure that you're not then expecting, you can expect, but be sure that you're not relying on it. In other words, see it as a sign, but make sure that you're opening your heart and loving it all anyway. So whether you then do get money or you don't get money, make sure you are staying in that state of unconditional love, because that's when it will happen. All right, so maintain that state regardless. How does that sound? Good. All right, very good. She's given a thumbs up. Fantastic, and congratulations for that. I'm very excited for you as well. Good job. So was that it, Steve, for questions?
Well, at this point, yes.
Okay.
Wait.
My mother is at the end of her life. Through our work, I'm way more calmer now regarding my relation to her, but somehow I'm afraid to just numb myself and that my work is superficial and then something is going to explode after her death. She is sick and we cannot have a conversation. Okay, so that's a really, really good question. Thank you so much for sharing it. And having gone through, this situation with my own mum about 1.5 years ago, I can completely understand. So here's what you want. You don't want to be numb. You want to be love. So there's a big difference between that. So it's not about not feeling the bad feelings. It's about doing what you can to get into the state of unconditional love. And here's a great way of thinking of it, is replacing any negative feelings, any worry, any guilt, any regret, anything like that, with love and appreciation. So you're not just getting rid of or suppressing the negative feelings. Your aim is to end up with love and appreciation instead of the negative feelings. So let's do this with, can I unmute? Oh, yes, can you unmute? Yes, please do. Yes, easier when you do. Hi, Sylvie.
Hi,
Hey.
thank you for calling.
Of course.
I'm out of my bus. I was in the bus at the beginning of the session in Paris, and I ran to the apartment to hear the next party of the call.
Oh, good.
Well, that's what I explained in the chat, and somehow I'm afraid that something is going to explode after our death.
Yes.
Because I really feel that I'm much more calmer. I have any, I don't have resentment anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I've done a lot of due justice letter.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm somehow really okay with our relationship. I have a regret. There will be no tenderness.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to deal with that. Mm-hmm. And
Okay.
she was never really hugging, etc.
Yes.
And due to the COVID situation, I will see her tomorrow, but I'm not allowed to touch her.
Mm-hmm.
We are obliged to wear masks and be 2 meters apart from the person. So it's a strange feeling this evening.
Yes. Yes, it is. And again, having, gone through now 2 losses of my closest family in just a year and a half, what I can tell you is that what's going to determine whether whether those negative emotions explode or not, 2 things. Number 1 is that you're not denying them or suppressing them or anything like that. And the second piece, which is my personal experience, is that where you are putting your conscious mind is going to determine how you're feeling. So I'll tell you a little bit about my experience. I was on my way over to South Africa to see my mum before she died. So she got ill. It was a very sudden thing. We weren't expecting it. And by the time my sister and I managed to arrange to go, my mum was very close to leaving. So I landed in Dublin on my way over, and when I switched on my phone, I got the text from my brother saying that my mum had already died. Now, I was okay, I went into that unconditional love state. I loved it all anyway, loved her anyway, did all that. But what set me off was I started seeing it through other people's eyes. And I started imagining telling someone my mother's just died. And that brought up all the tears and the feelings of hurt and worry, all of that. So that's what triggered me, not my own reaction, but seeing it through someone else's eyes. So that's just a little, example of how where we're looking at the moment determines what chemicals are coming up. So when I eventually got out of that and, took my own advice and focused on how much I love my mum, how much appreciation I have for her, admiration. Now, my mum also was not perfect. So she was also not very affectionate and that kind of thing, but I changed a lot of those memories and I chose to focus on the good stuff. the new memories, and also the times when she was herself, which I believe, you know, everybody has that authentic self, which is loving and kind and compassionate. And she was very funny. We had good laughs together and that. And focusing on that plus the new memories is what changed my chemical state. And that's what got me through. And then there was no, like you say, explosion, because I was aware that may happen as well. And it didn't, because I had changed that. So for you, what I suggest is, number one, allow the feeling. So let's do this now, Sylvie, if you're happy to. When you think of what's the worst thing about your mum dying? Let's just go with that first. So start there.
The worst thing, maybe that things cannot be mended.
Okay, very good. And so the fact that things can't be mended, now the first answer to that is for your conscious mind to understand that whether things are mended or not, physically makes no difference to your subconscious mind.
Mm.
So you can imagine things amended, and as long as you've changed the supporting memories, to your subconscious, everything's mended. Your brain can't tell the difference between reality and imagination. So nothing we do in reality matters except for how we think about it. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense. And I know that from all our calls. So
Yeah.
I think I have a lot of, I'm going to prepare a lot.
Yes.
Evening and tomorrow.
Very good.
And I noticed what you said about the denial. I was afraid to be in denial.
Yes.
And
yes.
Making really the difference between my subconscious and what I really know.
That's it.
On the conscious part, I have to separate the things.
Right, exactly. That's exactly what it is. And you can remind yourself that when you watch a movie, you can get involved in the movie without, you know, your conscious mind believing the movie is real. But your brain and body still go into the same state as if the movie is real. So that's the difference. So you will always consciously know what really happened. Like I've just told you, my mum died in February last year, and I can still remember all the details, but I've changed the references. So I've changed the childhood memories that created the feelings of, I should have gone earlier, because there was that tendency big time. You know, I should have left earlier, and what would have happened if I had, and all of those kind of things. But again, I changed the references for the guilt, the regret, you know, those kind of things, so that my brain was then able to focus only on the good stuff. But I still know that I didn't get there in time, that if I had left earlier, I would have got there in time, but I'm okay with it now. Make sense?
Yes, it makes sense. And it's funny because I just realized that I'm feeling strange because I'm calm, and the people around me are not calm about the situation.
And that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's strange because I have the superpower. I'm preparing. I say, how can it be that I'm not shocked at the other, like the other one? Am I insensible, etc.
And that's what I was saying earlier, seeing it through other people's eyes. That was one of the things for me as well, is that the reason I started looking through other people's eyes was because I didn't want to look like I didn't care.
Yes.
Right. So, you know, meeting up with other people, and I remember I met up with a friend I've known for a very long time, a very old friend. And I hadn't seen him for a long time. I haven't spoken to for a long time. And we met up in person. And because I was in this state of love, I mean, I cried. Of course I did. You know, my brother, my sister, and I, we all had our moments, but we kept redirecting to the good stuff, to the love, to the appreciation, and so on. And so when I met up with him for coffee, we had like a little memorial coffee thing, and he was the first one to arrive. And you know, it was hi, how are you and everything. And I said, oh, I am so happy. And his face. And then I realized it looked like I'd said, I'm so happy that my mum is dead. But I didn't mean that. I meant that I'm so happy where I'm living now, because that's where my focus was.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there is that, and I quickly said, oh, no, 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 of course not, my mum, you know, that kind of thing. So there is that, that distinction or that awareness of how we're coming across to other people. And the answer to that is still love. So we could, if we don't care, then that's a very different thing. But if we're feeling unconditional love for everything and everyone, that includes the people around us who are perhaps seeing things differently or reacting differently, you can still be in a caring, compassionate, kind state, feeling unconditional love for them. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense, yeah.
And that's the way to handle your experience of those around you in the meantime.
Thanks a lot.
You're very welcome. You're very, very welcome. And you can also do the allowing exercise. So if you feel like, you know, I've got these feelings, bring it right down to the physical sensations. What's the physical sensation of this without giving it meaning? So, you know, whatever's there, notice it and allow it and go, it's okay to feel this. It's okay to feel whatever this sensation is. And it doesn't have to mean anything. Don't have to make it stop. Don't need to change it. And allowing it to be there. It's okay to feel this right now. That'll help to bring the stress chemicals down as well.
Thank you. I'll do that.
You're very welcome, Sylvie. Thank you for sharing, sweetie.
Thanks a lot. Mm-hmm.
All right, and some more here. I had a really good sleep last night and woke up feeling so grateful, and am practicing allowing and unconditional love. How do I keep this state for longer periods without feeling the shoe may drop? It's more rare for me to feel this than and starting my day more alive. All right. So great question. And, you know, I used to have that as well, you know, and I know I had references from my grandmother. There'll be tears at bedtime if you had too much fun. That was one of her famous, you know, sayings. And so there's various previous experiences for when things are going well, then something bad happens. So that, but it doesn't make that true. It just means that's a reference. That's what we've experienced in the past. We don't have to experience it now. So again, what you may want to do is start with the allowing exercise of that, allowing that. So that feeling of the other shoe may drop. How does that feel physically in your body? What's the physiological experience of it? And allow that to be there. It's okay to feel that, whatever that physical sensation is. And then once you feel that's come down, you can check your childhood. So where in your childhood did it feel like when you're going through longer periods of being happy or everything's going well, or you're safe, or whatever it is, then something happens, the other shoe drops. So whatever that is, make sure that that's changed, so that two things. Number one, you create memories of everything's always fine. You're always safe. Everything, you know, everything's always good, and create memories of you're having fun for a whole day. You go to sleep, you wake up, you have more fun, and it just keeps going. So you can have that knowing that having fun or being safe or being happy, all of the and good things happening is just the way of life. That's number one. And number two, you can have your parents and teachers telling you that. Bless you, Steve. You can have your parents and teachers teaching you that and saying, you know, remember that it's what state you're in is what you're attracting and creating. So the more happy and relaxed and fun you feel, the more that's momentum. It just picks up and you continue to attract that. And anything else that comes up, if something looks like it's going to turn out, the other shoe's going to drop, it can't. It can't turn out to be bad. You can only, once you know you love yourself, you can only create good for yourself. So even something that looks like it might be bad, it has to turn out to be either good or nothing to worry about. And have them teaching you that. And then have, create those memories where that's exactly what you experience to support that. So I hope that helps. But if you need more, thank you, and helpful, always being safe and knowing and aware of life. Exactly. You're always safe. Good job. Very good. All right. And then next one question, if there's time. In the allowing technique, when you allow the feeling, do you wait for the feelings to dissipate and then change the references? Which epi is the technique described? Okay, so I'm not sure what that last sentence means, but the
So
answer.
which session was the?
Oh, episode. Oh, sorry. Which episode? Oh, okay. Yes. So, Steve, if we could, I can't remember which episode the allowing technique was in, but there is. In fact, there's a short. There is a short video, an excerpt of the allowing technique, and I'm going to find it right now and share the link so that you have that, and then Steve, if you could also put it in the description. So here is the episode to the excerpt of the allowing technique. So you can use that and follow along, and it will also be in the description of the video for those who watch the recording. Okay, and so just to answer that question though, yes, so when you do the allowing technique, do it until you feel a shift of some kind. So it may not go away completely, it may just change a little bit. It's going to be different for different people with different things at different times. So when you feel that you are no longer in the same emotional state, so you've changed enough to be able to feel better so that you're not still got the stress chemicals in your system, then yes, find those childhood references. So where in my childhood did I feel the same feeling? It may be a different topic, but will be the same feeling, and then change those. So hopefully that answers the question. And yes, so and you've got the link there to that other episode where it's or the excerpt from that episode. All right, so was that it, Steve? And to that person as well, you're welcome. I was going to say, if you need more clarification, let us know. All right, so targeting. All right, so take a deep breath and either close your eyes or leave them open, whichever you prefer. And go into your superpower state, however you normally do that. Start to feel your heart opening, that expansion feeling in your chest. As that light shines out from you. Very good. Then allow that light or energy to spread down to your toes, up to the top of your head, and out to your fingertips. So you're now full of that light, that energy, that love. Very good. And then allow that light or energy to fill each of the 50 trillion cells that make up your body. Love each cell just for existing. Very, very good. And then allow this light or energy to fill your subject. And then imagine your subject doesn't want to be with you or doesn't have the qualities that you love and appreciate in them. And keep them filled with this light, this energy anyway. Loving them anyway, no matter what. Very good. And now let's go to Lisa. Fill Lisa with this same light, this energy. From the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Lisa, just for existing. Very good. Now allow that light, that energy to overflow from Lisa and fill everyone's financial abundance. Whether they have abundance or not, so everyone's financial situations, no matter what, love it all exactly as it is. Love it all anyway, shining the light into any darkness. And Lisa's very sweet. Thank you, Lisa, for adding us to your target. It's very sweet of you. Lisa says for Steve and Odille to have super success globally. So filling us and the results, whether we have success globally or not, loving it all exactly as it is, loving all the possible results, no matter what, shining that light into any darkness. Very good. And now to Swasti. Fill Swasti with that same light, that energy. From the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Swasti, just for existing. Very good. And allow that light, that energy to overflow from Swasti and fill her exam on Thursday. So the version of Swasti that will be doing the exam on Thursday, fill that Swasti with this light, this energy, no matter what happens, and allowing that light or energy to overflow from that version of Swasti on Thursday. Fill the exam, whatever happens, all the people involved, and all the possible results. Swasti says, I really want to get a minimum of an average score. So filling that with this light, this energy, whatever the score is, whether it's average, whether it's more than average, or whether it's less than average. Love it all exactly as it is, and no matter what, with no judgment, no expectations, shining this light into any darkness, loving it all anyway. Very, very good. And now to Sylvie. Fill Sylvie with this same light, this energy. From the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Sylvie, just for existing. Very good. And allow this light, this energy to overflow from Sylvie and fill her mother. From the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Sylvie's mother, just for existing, and no matter what. Exactly as she is, no matter what happens, shining this light into any darkness and loving it all anyway. Very good. And now allow this light, this energy to fill everyone who's off camera today and everyone who's watching the recording. Love each one just for existing, no matter what. Very good. And allow that light, that energy to overflow from each person, shine out and fill everything in their lives. Shining this light into every person, every event, every circumstance, every experience. Shining the light into any darkness and loving it all exactly as it is, no matter what, feeling the power of that. Good job. And now allow this light, this energy to fill the future you, yourself, later today and over the weekend. Fill that version of you with the same light, this energy, this power. no matter what. No matter what you'll be feeling or doing or experiencing, loving it all anyway. And surge. Very good. And surge again. Good job. Very good. You can open your eyes. And we will see you same time, same place on Monday. Well done, everyone. And thank you very much for all the contributions, and to those who are sharing our videos. We really, really appreciate that. And we also appreciate all the feedback from everybody who's experiencing, who is helped by these techniques. And so have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you on Monday. Keep looking after yourselves, keep practicing. Lots of love to all of you. Bye-bye.